Hello, hi, and welcome back to the Marathopolis, or welcome to if you're new. Today we are I watched The Incredible Hulk, and this movie, it's interesting, very, very interesting. First off, I'm only going to be talking about The Incredible Hulk for this episode, and then going forward, I'm probably only gonna talk about one movie per episode, just because I think it's easier on me. Yeah. So, The Hulk. Unsurprisingly this time, I have never seen this movie. I don't really think I'm gonna watch it again anytime soon. Like, I feel like a lot of Marvel movies have this like quality to them where you can, after maybe a year or two, go back and like, oh, this is like nostalgic. I will never do that for this movie, I don't think. Yeah, like I'm just thinking to myself, and I'm like, this movie, like the first third of this movie is, I don't want to say boring, just nothing much happened. Bruce is, obviously he experimented on himself in the whole this affliction, and for the first third or second, or even, I don't even want to say half, so maybe the first third, first third of the movie, maybe even 2/3 if I'm being critical, it's just like him running, him trying not to get caught, and that's fine, like that's fine for a movie, but I guess the way they do it in the movie is just not exciting for me. Like, he's just constantly, again, like, there are movies, I really can't think of any examples right now, but there are movies where the main character is running from an authority figure, or for whatever reason, the fugitive, and they're running away. And those movies are good. I don't know, I really couldn't give a reason why, but for this movie, it just did not appeal to me. And I found definitely the first third, at least, incredibly boring. I wouldn't say incredibly, just lackluster. That's the perfect word I'm looking for, lackluster. I think you can sum up most of the movie as lackluster. Also, I forget Bruce Banner's love interest. I forget her name, but she annoyed me only for the reason, like, she had this whisper tone with her voice, and I can't stand it. It's annoying. I don't know. I couldn't take any scene with the two of them seriously, because she's always like having this, she's not whispering, but that voice you have when you whisper, she has that the entire movie, and I cannot stand it. I just cannot stand it. Yeah. Also, I have vague memories of this movie, but it is interesting. I don't know if I've seen this movie or a different Hulk movie. I really can't remember, so I just think I watched it for the first time because all of this is new to me. But I didn't know at all that Bruce Banner was trying to replicate the super serum in Captain America. I feel like not having watched Captain America, the first Avenger, was detrimental, to say. I think that's the word I'm looking for. I know it didn't come out, I don't really remember when it came out, but after watching Captain America, so much of Marvel makes sense, I'm realizing, and not having watched it, a lot of things didn't make sense to me, and that could have contributed to the reason why I don't really care for Marvel. Now, that being said, I do also believe that Marvel has fallen off in recent years, so that just remains true. I just think the writing has been lackluster. I'm getting off track. This video is just about the Hulk, and I also have to remember, when thinking about this movie, that it came out in, I think, 2008. So, the CGI isn't gonna be what it is today. So, thinking about it from an early 2000s point of view, it's not bad. It's not. I don't really care for the way the Hulk's face looks, and when he's fighting the Abomination, which I'll touch more on later, his face looks weird. And even the Abomination's face looks weird when they talk. It just looks really weird and almost uncanny, if that's the right word. It felt weird to me watching, like, the way they moved and stuff. Felt really weird. Also, I noticed this with Iron Man as well. Bruce Banner's actor changes later, and so did, I forget Iron Man's friend's name, who gets a suit. I forget his name, but the Captain Military dude, I don't know. But he also got his actor switched out, which makes sense, I guess, like, because you're not really like you're not knee deep in the franchise yet, so it's okay to switch actors. But it's just, and it only happened twice so far. It's just weird that it happened twice, I don't know. Nothing bad, like, obviously recasting happens all the time. It just struck me as, oh, I just noticed it, is what I'm trying to say. I just noticed it, and it was interesting to me. Yeah, this movie didn't really give me too much to like think on. In the beginning, when Bruce Banner was in the factory, helping out the factory owner, and he cut himself, and his blood got on the thing, on the bottle. I don't understand how he didn't notice that, like, a giant glob of blood was like on the bottle and he only got the little speck that landed on the conveyor belt, because if that didn't happen, the military wouldn't have found him, or at least wouldn't have found him as quickly. So how did he not notice that? Because it was right there. I was like, what? Come on, dude. Then, you know, obviously he runs away because they find him and stuff. When I was watching it, like, low key, I'm thinking to myself, I don't really see the military as being that bad. Like, and to explain what I mean by that is, I could understand, like, if you look at it from their point of view, right? Like, this person who can turn into a monster and just rampage and has no control over it is out in the world, who knows where, and could just be unleashed by the smallest like thing because he can't control it, right? So I understand why they want to catch him, and I don't see them as being evil for doing that. Like, I was low-key on their side. Now the colonel, I think is that his name? I forget, but you know, the dude who was revived the program, I don't like him too much at all. Ross, I think is his name. I don't like him at all, the way he approaches. See, he wasn't even that bad. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, like, I'm processing it live right now. And it's like, he wasn't that bad. I still don't care for him. But, you know, he obviously cares, with a grain of salt, for his daughter and stuff. But he does want to use the Hulk serum and stuff as a weapon. And I understand you're in the military. Even though you're in the military, you have to think, like, no, having an army of these monsters is just not good. It's bad. One of them decides to go rogue and you're kind of screwed. I don't like him for that. But I also can see where he's coming from with wanting to retrieve the Hulk, even if his motives may be a little skewed. Yeah. Also, what I find interesting is, you know, we're gonna like fast forward because, again, nothing of substance happens too much until like the last third of the movie, maybe a little bit, maybe not a perfect third, but like a little bit past the halfway mark, when the Hulk, first of all, I just want to say, I don't remember if the girl or the woman he was seeing ever like broke it off with that guy she was seeing, but I don't remember seeing that. So like, she's just fully cheating. Like, she's fully cheating right now. And unless I'm wrong, and unless I missed the part where she was like, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, she's just fully cheating, because I believe she was seeing that new guy. I believe so. Also, I think that guy's from Modern Family, but I believe she was seeing him. What's up with that? And then, yeah, you know, they run off together and they go to this motel, and it's like, okay, you know, I was reading reviews after I watched it, and I didn't hear, actually, I can get a number. I can get a number. Let me look it up, because in the movie, the Hulk is unable to get it on because he's gonna get too excited and he's gonna transform. So let me do a little research. Let me go on incognito tab. I'm gonna go on incognito because I don't want this in my search history. But let me look up the average heart rate during intercourse, and let me see if he should be able to get it on. Okay. So according to my research, okay, and this is from a Harvard Health article, so I'm gonna say it's credible, but according to my limited 10 seconds of research, it says that the body doesn't go above 300, no, not 300, geez, that's really high. The body doesn't go above 130 BPM during intercourse. And in the movie, I believe it's 200 BPM that is his limit before Banner transforms. So if we do a little bit of math, right, he should be able to get it on without transforming, because 130 is less than 200 last time I checked. So that doesn't make any sense. Unless he's like really, really excited to, you know, with her. I don't know. Maybe he's like incredibly excited and he just can't do it. Yeah. So that's interesting. Also, I think before this happens, when they're at the university, I just remember thinking, like, they didn't evacuate that place, I don't think. There's still students there, and they're like blowing up the place. So that's not okay. And I would want free tuition after that. Anyway, moving on. So yeah, that struck me as interesting when that happened with the whole motel scene when they were getting it on, because he should fully be able to have fun. Okay, my boy Bruce Banner should be able to, you know, have fun with his life. And I'm gonna move on because I've talked about this man's penis for way too long. Yeah, so moving on to when they find Mr. Blue. And, you know, I'm skipping around the movie because I'm just going off my head, and what struck out as me, no, that's not English. What struck out to me, because again, with this movie, it's like not that much was noteworthy, I'll say. Not too much was noteworthy, and it's just, these are the most interesting parts to me. When they meet when they meet slash, yeah, I guess meet, because Bruce hadn't ever met Mr. Blue. They just corresponded over whatever encryption channel they used. So yeah, they just like corresponded over text, I guess. It's not really text, it's like this weird computer thing, but yeah, they just exchanged words, I guess. They had never met. So yeah, it's very, he showed me it's interesting. He's very like ecstatic. He's like, yes, let's do it. I might die, but that is completely okay. And then, you know, so I guess they've been talking for, I don't even know how long. I'm gonna say years because that feels natural to me. But yeah, to me, what was weird to me is how fast I don't want to say betrayed, because he didn't betray him. He just is doing too much. Because, you know, when Bruce goes there and it doesn't really work to get rid of the Hulk, and he takes him to the back and he has like all these like blood samples and he's doing all these other experiments, Bruce is like, you have to destroy it. And I'm gonna call him Mr. Blue because, again, I don't remember his real name, but Mr. Blue's like, no, you know the things we can unlock with this. And, you know, when the military finds him and the Abomination, he's not the Abomination yet, but who will become the Abomination when he's like, turn me into the Hulk. He just does it. He's like, yes, I'm willing to do that. Like, bro, why? If you say it's in the name of science, that's stupid, because like that's just not worth it. And now he's fully responsible for like what happened, and I think it was in New York. So like, bro, come on, let's use some common sense. And then also with the Abomination, it's like, first of all, when he got to Mr. Blue's laboratory, he looked messed up. Like, he looked messed up for real. I was not expecting that. He looked like he was on meth. I was like, bro. Because, like, there's no way. I mean, I guess whatever the military was pumping him with could have done that. But I literally just think it was like a power trip thing. And he just wants to be able to fight the Hulk. And he probably just wants vengeance for, I don't know if it's for what happened in Brazil, or if it's for kicking him across a field into a tree and breaking all the bones in his body. I don't really know what he wants vengeance for. It's one of those two things. Either for Brazil and embarrassing him, which is kind of like, get over it, or for breaking every bone in his body, and that one is more reasonable. I don't know which one he wants vengeance for, possibly both, but like, he just let it consume him. And also, maybe this also has a part to play in it, but I remember in Captain America, the first Avenger, when, I forget his name, the scientist who made the super serum, I know it starts with the E, and I know I'm gonna remember as soon as I finish recording, but I remember when he was talking to Cap, he was like, the super serum doesn't just make you stronger, it amplifies every aspect of you, including your personality. So in my mind, I'm thinking maybe the reason why the Abomination turned out to be evil is because his personality was already skewed towards that side, right? And then now that he took the super serum plus whatever Dr. Blue put in his body after that, so I know it's not the super serum, but whatever serum the Hulk Banner was working on. So he has both these serums in his system now, and that's just gonna like amplify his already like messed up personality. So now he's just gonna be like fully evil. So I guess that makes sense to me. That would explain why he's chasing power so much. But yeah, so that's interesting. But yeah, so I say but yeah way too much. I need a better segue statement. Moving on, the battle in New York. I loved it. I loved it so much. Like, bro, I love the battle so much. It was good, and definitely like the last third of the movie in its entirety is very good. And if like the whole movie like held up to that standard what the last third of the movie did, I think it would be like much higher on my ratings, but it doesn't. So, but anyway, the last third of the movie, really good, phenomenal. Yeah, when the Abomination kind of like does his thing and starts messing up the city. What was funny to me, I think I let out a little chuckle when Banner jumped out of the helicopter and like didn't transform. I don't know if he didn't transform in time or what, but I don't know how he survived that if he didn't, but he like fully crashed. And that was funny to me. Just a little bit of humor. And then the battle was it wasn't like the best battle I've seen in the MCU, obviously, but you know, it was good. But it was fun. The Abomination tried to kill Banner's... I do not remember this woman's name. Do they even say it? Do they say her name? And did she ever come back up in the MCU? Because I've never heard of this woman before. I have never heard of this woman. I cannot remember. But anyway, tries to kill her. Also, why did the Colonel General, whatever he is, in general. Why did he like try and shoot the Abomination with the helicopter that he and his daughter are both in? Like, I would not do that. I would at least drop my daughter off before going into like what's basically an active war zone. I'm not bringing my civilian daughter into that, so I don't know what he was thinking or what he wasn't thinking. That was stupid. And then also Hulk did the clap thing to put out the fire that was caused when Abomination tried to destroy the helicopter. How did he know he could do that? Or was he just like risking it? Because to my knowledge, he had never done that before ever. Now it's his first time. So how did he know that would happen? Doesn't make sense to me. All in all, however, I think it is an interesting movie. I think I rated it 2.5 out of 5, and I think that tracks. Like, it's not the best, it's definitely not the worst. Like, I've seen much worse movies. Even just within the MCU, I've seen worse movies. And I'm not the biggest Marvel fan. I don't really care for it. That might change, honestly, because that might change though, because honestly, like, a few of these movies, especially Captain America, the First Avenger, have really like left an impression on me, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching them. So it could change. But moving on to the part where I rank these in my beautiful, masterly created tier list. For a reminder, I'm just gonna name the tiers. So at the top of the tier list is Absolute Cinema. These are for films that are just the best of the best and outmatch any others. Right below that, we have Worthy of a Rewatch. Not quite Absolute Cinema, but I would definitely rewatch it, give it some time. Below that is Not Good, Not Bad. As the name suggests, it wasn't the best, but also wasn't the worst. Right in the middle. Below that, we have Barely Watchable, as in, I didn't quite turn off the TV, but like the thought did cross my mind. And at the bottom of the barrel, we have Who Greenlit This? And those are for movies that should have never been made. I'm thinking, because right now I have Captain America, Iron Man and Iron Man 2 in Worthy of a Rewatch, and I have Captain Marvel in Not Good, Not Bad. And I'm leaning to put this in Not Good, Not Bad. Now, I enjoyed Captain Marvel more than I enjoyed this movie, and it feels weird putting them on the same level. And I know I can add an extra tier, because if I did, I would actually put it in between Not Good, Not Bad and Barely Watchable. I feel like if there was a tier, I wouldn't even know what to call it, but if there was a tier that was in between Not Good, Not Bad and Barely Watchable, I would put Incredible Hulk right there. But seeing as there isn't, and I don't feel like adding one, I'm gonna put it in Not Good, Not Bad. Although I think it might deserve a little bit lower, but it is what it is. So yeah. All in all though, like I said, I've seen worse movies. I wasn't bored while watching it. I feel like that's also a reason why I didn't give it a worse rating, or why I don't believe it belongs in Barely Watchable, because while the first third to 2/3 of the movie were lacking, in my opinion, it did keep me engaged. Like, I wasn't on my phone. I wasn't trying to leave the room often. I wasn't trying to, like, go get like a drink or something so I can like do something else while watching the movie. It kept me, I don't even want to say engaged, because it wasn't like engaging, but it kept me interested, I'll say. Like, I didn't want to leave necessarily. And because of that, and because I didn't want to turn it off and the thought never crossed my mind, I don't believe it belongs in Barely Watchable. And I believe it wasn't that bad of a movie. I also, having like looked online about what people are saying about this movie, I think it is a little overhated, and only a little bit, because, people have their criticisms and I feel like a lot of them are valid, but I cannot find a reason to actively despise this movie. Now, would I watch it again? Unless it was at a party for some reason? Probably not. But I don't believe it was terrible, and I do believe it gets overly hated. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the best, but, not all movies are going to be the best. I personally think it's a little overhated. I don't really understand why. I think I said that before, like 10 seconds ago. If anyone would enlighten me, that'd be nice, because after watching the movie, I don't really see any reason why we should be dogpiling. That didn't really make sense to me. Like, I felt a disconnect between what people were saying and what I was watching. So that struck me as interesting. That being said, I think that's everything I have to say about the movie. I don't really have that many criticisms for the movie besides the ones I already listed. So I think that's everything I wanted to say. Yeah. So with that being said, that's all I have to say in this video. If you have been here before, you will have noticed I only talked about one movie, and going forward, I definitely think I'm gonna only talk about one movie per episode, because I feel like in the past, in the first episode in the first video, whatever you want to call it, I did with this marathon, I did 3 movies. I did Captain America and the first 2 Iron Man movies. Oh no, I did 4, and Captain Marvel. You see, I did 4 movies, and I feel like I didn't have the time within the episode or the video, whatever you want to call it. I didn't have enough time within the video to say everything I wanted to say about the movie. And also, I feel like it's just easier on me, because yes, the video can be as long as I want it to be, because why not? I don't feel like editing like an hour-long episode video. Yeah, I don't feel like editing an hour-long video. Like I don't feel like editing like that like every week. I don't feel like doing that. So I'd rather edit like 3 or 4, I guess. How long is this? This is almost 30 minutes as of recording it. I'm sure it'll be shorter once I finish editing it. But I'd rather edit like 3 or 4 of like I guess 30 videos than 1 hour long one, because I can break it up more easier, if that makes sense. At least to me, that's how it makes sense. I can divvy it up better. You know, if I have time, I can edit one and then that can go out. Whereas if I have an hour-long video, right? I'm thinking about this like from like a logical point of view. If I have 1 hour-long video, I can't like decide, I'm just going to edit 30 minutes of this or 20 minutes or 10 minutes of this. And that little 10, 20, 30 minute block can't by itself go out. I have to wait until I edit the full hours. Whereas I can be like, okay, I'm going to edit this 10-minute video, or I'm going to edit this 30-minute video, and it can go out. It just makes more sense in my mind. Also, yeah, that's about it actually. So yeah, I say so yeah so much. With all that being said and done, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this little update in my marathon. It has been really fun watching these movies so far, especially the ones I haven't seen already, because I feel like I've missed out on a lot of Marvel. Honestly, if you enjoyed this video, please do what all the other YouTubers ask you to do. I'm not gonna ask you to do it, but if you would like to, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe if you feel inclined. But if you didn't like this video, you did, and you're just wrong. Please remember to eat your dinner and get your sleep, and I'll see you next time. Bye!